Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trent and Zyori podcast. Brand new overlays, familiar faces, and a shiny new intro. I'm excited to be here, bud. Every 2 weeks, officially Tuesdays, the new podcast day here on Moonduck TV. It is September 18th. It's right in the middle of the afternoon, 2 p.m. my time, just about the evening there for Trent. It's been a long day of casting. Bud, how you feeling?
Feeling good. A little tired, but it's okay. Obviously, it's worth it for Dota in the end. Get to do the best job in the world, casting Dota. So there were some interesting matches, to say the least. Several 70 minutes plus or something like that. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we had 3 games that went past 70 minutes, including one that went 121 minutes. So, yeah, it was a long day. And then Virtus Pro decided to save us in the end by, well, Virtus Pro and Furzy. So, if you guys not in the know, we'll just jump right into Dota. I hope that's okay.
Dude, go at it.
Didn't have any other intro items here on the agenda. Any housekeeping?
No, that was it. Tuesday's podcast day. That's the housekeeping. What the Duck is coming exactly a week from now, so put it on your calendars.
All right. I consider it on my calendar. So you guys, you're aware that there's this thing happening called the Kuala Lumpur Major, and then there's also going to be a minor somewhere. But for now, everyone's trying to qualify for the major. So we had ourselves the CIS region today, and then South America was today too. Southeast Asia is there later tonight, and then Europe starts tomorrow. So either way, CIS wrapping up today, and there are a couple teams that were still in the hunt. And so what ended up happening was there was this the final match, because 2 teams qualify. As you guys probably know, there's 2 teams from every region, right? Makes sense?
Yeah.
For some regions. Maybe
sounds
not so much
familiar, right?
Yep. Anyway, VP secured the first slot earlier.
Yeah. So I see LGD and Vici have come out of China, and China number 3 is Team, however you say that, Aster?
Team Aster, that's the one.
Team Aster.
That's what I call them. Yep.
Sylar, D-Stones, XXS, Baboka, Fenrir with Burning as a captain. My oh me. Okay.
Coach. Isn't he?
Coach. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I saw the C. I meant to say coach. Yeah, good call.
I hear you. But anyway, so the final match, then once VP had secured their slot, there's still one more slot for the major. And that was between Team Furzy, which is pretty much just a stack for the most part, honestly. It's like it's players you'd recognize, but Team Spirit, the team who's been, struggling for a while now to actually just get themselves to lands. They've been close throughout the whole year and 1 game away from TI for like 3 years or something ridiculous like that. They played themselves that ridiculously long series. Game 2, 120 minutes. At the very least, they didn't go to 3 games. And the second that ends, they're just done. Furzy does not want to play anymore. Virtus Pro had to wait the whole day watching that series because it was so long. They don't want to play anymore. And so Ramses just comes in the lobby and he says, can we just flip the coin? Can we just please? Because they want to play a best of 3 at the end of the day for seeding. And that's going through all of the regions. So the other teams have been playing them and stuff.
Right.
CIS not into that. They were not down. So they asked for flipping the coin, and when that didn't work, they asked for a best of 1. And then when that didn't work, because the admins were like, no, it has to be a best of 3, we just went clown mode. They just instantly drafted, like, pick. They just played them all. They picked all 10 heroes right away. We had techies, we had a Pudge, super OP silencer when you're just smashing in each other's faces, like constantly stealing the int, so he got stacked as hell.
Okay.
And,
wow.
So we had 3 games of that, which is like, you're like, oh, that's funny, because like the first game is kind of funny, but by the end of it, it's a little draining, because like which team's going to win in the first like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of boring. So it was an anticlimactic way to end it.
Exactly. It's really not fun beyond like you see the draft and you go, wow, they've got Pudge techies, but or whatever. And whenever those games happen, like you said, they always end relatively fast, even if it takes a while to tap out, because there's still a level of you don't want it to be too clown mode. You don't want to get into the game and then just GG in the first 5 minutes. So it's kind of shitty, but I guess I could feel for the players. It's pretty late over there. I guess seeding, all things considered, not the end of the world. It is sort of interesting, though, how the different regions have different mentalities about that stuff. I feel like you hear in other regions a lot of teams more often talking about terrible seeding or, oh, we had this bad opponent early on or all this kind of stuff. And I feel like some of the CIS teams a little more like, fuck it. We're going to have to beat hard teams if we're going to win anyway. It doesn't really matter. I want to go to bed right now. Let's just flip a coin. It's kind of badass in a way. I think it speaks to their overall confidence of like, we'll play whoever. We're good. We're
on the land. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what the attitude was. But yeah, I was happy for that to be over. But I'm looking forward to Europe because I think I start tomorrow with Alliance and Final Tribe.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I don't know. These qualifiers are crazy because everyone's in them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no direct invites. It is a whole new season. I have to say, it has definitely just even watching it has changed my opinions about minors quite a bit because now I'm kind of excited to watch Team Spirit because they should be the ones who qualify for the minor, and I'll watch them at LAN. Not gonna lie. I don't know. It looks kind of hype.
It's kind of funny because Team Spirit, I felt like, was always that example we all use kind of jokingly. Like, you go to the minor, the best team you're going to have is Team Spirit. And lo and behold, it looks like Team Spirit is, as predicted, perfectly positioned to end up as a front runner for the minor. What has been announced about the minor? Do we know anything
Literally
much
nothing.
about it? Okay. Well, as you can imagine, there have been some talks behind the scenes, so I'm going to refrain from saying anything accidentally, but looking forward to the minor. Can't wait to hear about the details. It's pretty soon, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty soon. I don't know why there's no details on it.
Yeah.
So the qualifiers for it start like
right
very
after the
soon,
major qualifiers, is it?
Yeah. I'm not even sure when the opens are. That's the part that kind of confuses me.
Oh, right.
Because they still have to run opens again for the minor.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But no one has organized them, or at least I haven't heard anything about them. Maybe the teams know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what an interesting start to the qualifiers for the Kuala Lumpur major. Maybe we should take a step back and talk about that major in general, man. Going back to Malaysia. Who's stoked for a little Malaysian Dota? I'll tell you what, I am. Malaysia is one of the few countries in Southeast Asia that I've been to multiple times. It's actually kind of weird. Like, I haven't been to Singapore, I haven't been to the Philippines, haven't been to South Korea, haven't been to Indonesia or Australia, but I've been to Malaysia like 4 times. So I don't know if that's just weird sampling bias, if the events that happen to be spread apart in SEA don't happen to like me that much, but Malaysia's like my home turf when it comes to Southeast Asian Dota, dude, and those fans are pretty hardcore, though. I guess you've experienced the Manila Dota, which I've heard many casters say is the hypest Dota crowd they have ever seen, bar none. So
yeah, that was definitely on a whole other level.
Yeah.
That kind of blew my mind.
But I like
Malaysia
it.
Was fun. I was there for Genting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, right. I always
So-
forget that's not a Malaysia city that you hear about too often.
Yeah, it's yeah.
KL's
kind of
pretty
interesting that
popular.
way.
It's on the radar.
Yeah.
I
I think
guess
we
I don't.
were in Kuala Lumpur, unless I'm crazy. Like Genting's like right next to KL.
Is it?
So like yeah, we were in there for like the group stage.
Okay.
We were casting out of a studio in KL, and then we were taken up to the Genting place for the finals.
I see. Yeah, KL is like I guess it's the capital. I think if I'm not totally crazy, so it's pretty
Sounds
poppin'.
right to me.
A lot of people live there. That's where that I know I've talked about it a couple times, but that's where that big Battle Arena LAN cafe is. Where I was there with Team Secret for that grand opening. So there's definitely some stuff going on there. I know the Malaysian government is interesting, right? I know there's been some political, drama scandals, all of the above over the last couple of years. And I know esports hasn't been immune to that because they're one of those countries that kind of understands at least partially the value of esports. And there is a lot of government involvement with these kind of events, which is both a good and a bad thing. A good thing because it makes dealing with visa issues and that stuff, like on the radar. So you're not just calling people on the phone like the Canadian government, like, oh, geez, I don't know what program that is. Oh, man. So you get some help there. But, Malaysia is it's an interesting country for sure. I'm stoked, man. I hope we get to go. The qualifiers have been pretty interesting so far. I'm really stoked for Europe to start, though. Like you said, no direct invites. It's kind of cool. It makes the qualifiers really matter again. Like, we knew that was coming, but it's a totally different beast to actually feel it compared to last season where a lot of the qualifiers, I literally don't remember a single game. And this one, you've got the world's best teams, for the most part, all playing in these major qualifiers.
Yeah, and for South America, that's going to be who do we got here? Pain Gaming are the first to qualify. So like Pain X, the other team. Who is now facing off against Thunder Predator, and they'll get the second slot because SA also has 2 slots.
I didn't even know about Pain X. So what happened
on right now?
What happened to Infamous, dude? Wow, they got knocked down by Pain, and then it looks like they got knocked out by Thunder Predator. Wow.
Yeah.
Look out, dude. Thunder Predator's coming. Okay, it's a Toon, Schofield, Then a bunch of other, is that Peruvian? Yeah, Peruvian players I have never really heard of. Prada, Sword, Jamari.
Sword for sure plays in a lot like in-house. Like definitely seen him a lot back when like
Okay.
NEL and stuff was going on. And then Schofield and the Tune, you would have seen that before. But
I'm embarrassed to admit that I'm pretty handicapped if you don't have a Liquipedia page. If you're new enough, I click on Sword and it says page does not exist. I'm like, well, he could be a fucking ghost for all I know.
Yeah.
But very interesting. So what's the deal with Europe? Is it, if memory's serving, OG are the ones that aren't playing in this qualifier,
correct?
Right?
They are taking a break.
Liquid, Secret, and then this Ninjas in Pajamas squad, which is sort of kind of old Optic with obviously.
It's the former Optic stand-in Soxa, Optic players, 3-3 and PPD, plus Fada and Ace.
Yeah. So some ex-Secret members there, huh? And then Secret
is now... Yeah, they traded a little bit there.
Yeah, now Secret has picked up Nisha in their one role. And, of course, Nisha is from that old Polish squad, right? With Exotic Deer. They've gone through a couple different names. Is that Team Kingwin?
They were Kingwin. They were, what is it, something Win or whatever?
Yeah, they
at the end of it there.
They've changed names numerous times.
That's what it was.
I guess that whole that entire Polish squad has now moved apart a little bit. It's kind of neat, though. It's cool to see a player like Nisha, who is on this team that's been, Team Kingwin, right, in that form, sort of on the radar a little bit, right? They qualified for 1 or 2 lands, a couple of them. Like, they qualified for that Zotac Cup land that we covered. So they've gotten a little bit of press. They've obviously got some skills, but it's neat to see a player on one of those teams that has felt almost like a forever Tier 2 type team make it onto a Tier 1 team, and now we're going to get to see what he's got, on the big stage. It's cool for player mobility.
That was kind of the story for Ace, too, in the first place, when he moved from, what was that team called? It was the
Danish Bears.
Old team?
Wasn't it?
Danish Bears, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Penguin Check's old team originally. Yeah, that's who it was. But
so was Ace the problem? Is that really the takeaway from the Team Secret shuffle?
I don't know. Ace definitely had some bad games at TI. I can remember a couple of particularly terrible Weaver games, but he had great games too where he carried hard. I'm sure it was just like, mixing it up. They really wanted to play with Zy. From what I understand, I think they put out a statement saying they had wanted to play with Zy last year, but he'd already made commitments.
Oh, okay.
So they were kind of looking forward to just playing with him in general. And I don't know if that affected the move with Fada leaving, because now Fada's going to be back to mid with Nip, which is exciting to see. Someone who's kind of jumping back and forth, that guy, between roles.
Europe is still in a really weird place, though. Like, I'm looking at this lineup of teams, and so we talked about Secret, we've talked about NIP, kind of talked about Liquid, OG, not in this conversation because we're just talking about Kuala Lumpur major qualifiers. This Alliance squad is pretty interesting. It's Koikva, Mickey, Boxy, Insania, and Tega. Tega is a Norwegian player, 3 Swedes, and then Koikva's German. So Alliance breaking from their tradition of being the full Swedish stack. And now Final Tribe is kind of the lineup that in my head I would think, oh, that's Alliance, or, oh, that's NIP because it's Frost, Chessie, Jonas, Hanskin, Era. But all of those players, I think, have been on Alliance and NIP in exclusively Swedish squads at one point or another. So that is just a weird sort of incestuous cycle of teams and players that have now found new homes. But then after that, we've got these 2 other stacks that are very interesting, but I'm not sure what to make of it. Right? You got Team Lithium. That's Madara, Mage, Kezu, maybe next time, and Peksu, and then Mango Bay. That's Faye, Carter, Bone 7, Cupe, and Flash. So that I know some of those players, and Garter is an interesting name on that list. But wow, very interesting time for European Dota fans. I feel like it's still pretty top heavy.
The legendary Pudge player.
Who, Garter?
No, Cupe.
Cupe.
Okay, do you want to hear his third most played hero is Tiny, 356 games. This is just pubs. Second most is Earthshaker, 398. His most played hero is Pudge at a whopping 2,498 games.
Jeez.
He's 2 games away from 2,500 matches as Pudge. This guy's ranked like 400 in Europe. I assume it's the same one. I can't. I think it is. I'm actually gonna double check. Yeah, it definitely is the same guy. That is awesome.
Wow.
What a legend.
Wow, that's a stunning amount of Pudge. I can't imagine how much Pudge he's played if you combine Dota 1 into that as well. Jesus.
And in the past month, he has played, let's see, 3 games of Pudge in their pro matches. Mostly playing Shaker, owning. Went 4 and 5 on Shaker, 4 and 4 on the clock, and then the Vent. They had to make their way through the opens, of course.
So Trent, who's this other team here? I'm looking. So this is Major Attendari. The Bulgarian squad, dude. We got little Bulgarian dotes here.
Yeah, I don't know anything about these guys. No clue.
That is badass, though. That's wow.
I think I know the captain.
The new King one.
I recognize the NTH guy. I think he used to be NTH hyphen before, possibly.
Okay. Sounds vaguely familiar, but
don't recognize the rest of them at all. No idea. Didn't watch the European Opens.
Yeah. Okay.
So don't know what to expect.
So no roster changes on LGD. It's pretty cool. And I think no roster changes for Team Serenity as well.
Yep, they're still the same. I heard there was attempted movement there.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The big movement would be KP, because he's now gone.
Wow.
As he moved to C, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, God. Where is he?
Yeah, he's on Mineski now.
Mineski.
With Febby and Mushi. That's a bit of an odd team, for sure.
Yeah, who is JT?
Not sure what to make of that one.
Who? I don't know who
he's played for Geek Fam.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't know. It has some star power, right? I'd love to see them in action. I don't know anything about JT, so to me, it's like if he's up to par with these other 4, then that squad looks scary. If he's not, I don't know. I haven't seen much Geek Fam.
They got my boy Febby though, so I will always cheer.
Yeah,
no question.
I mean, I like KP.
There's 3 Canadian pro players in Southeast Asia now, because just in that qualifier in itself, because there's Moon, 1437, and Febby.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Envy was there for a while.
Febby was streaming the other day, and he saw that I was in chat. He commented about when we were at the Toronto LAN, and you made that comment about the Canadian money, and he thought that was so. He goes, I remember the casters were talking, and he goes, so Trent, tell me about these Canadian loonies. He thought that was very funny. He appreciated it.
That's. I'm glad, dude. That's rare you get that kind of feedback from players, dude. That's hype.
Yeah. Febby's all about the laughs, though.
I'm slowly starting to understand Korean meme culture a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Moxie is Korean, so she's been helping me a little bit, and of course the girl I've been seeing is Korean, and she's teaching me slowly. Like, they're very into sound effects, like onomatopoeia. They don't call it that, but their characters for laughing are just like the it's like 3 H's, like like I'm literally making the sound.
Right.
Or like they do it with KKK as well, which sounds fucked up to us, but to them it's just like like that's sort of their sound for what it sounds like when Asian people laugh. So it's
okay.
I'm slowly starting to get it, you know. So what happened to Envy? He's on Complexity now. That was a switch that I had forgotten about. So
yeah, and they have Fear standing in for the qualifier. Fear is not part of the team. That's actually Skemberlu, who used to also be on Geek Fam.
Okay, that's a Filipino player. Okay, Skem. So their lineup officially is Skem, Limp, Snake King, Z Freak, and then Envy on the 5, also the captain. Wow, what an interesting team that is.
Hyped to have Envy back on support. I think it just suits him better overall, because he just has to control so much that it feels like support will be better for him.
Wow. Okay, I'm trying to just like digest that whole squad. Yeah, I don't know much about Skem, but
basically, Beef put out a video today, the Complexity manager. If you guys don't know who he is. Mm-hmm. So basically what happened is that, if I recall, they put in for Skem's visa right away for a work visa for the US, as well as a tourist visa for Canada, because they're going to do a boot camp in Canada, because they know that the work visa takes longer. Right. So the whole plan was boot camp in Canada. Everyone comes to Canada to get ready for the major qualifiers. And then the work visas they knew wouldn't be ready till mid-October anyway. So those are being worked on still by the U.S. However, his Canadian visa was actually denied.
Ugh,
They just said for reasons out of his control. I don't know what that means, but
fucking Canada.
I tell you, we're the worst. So that means he can't come to the boot camp, and obviously Ping makes it not really a very good option.
Yeah.
So that's why Fear's playing with them.
Okay. Well, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Not much you can
Kinda
do
sucks,
there,
though.
but it's nuts, though, man. It really is wild because of Trump. Like, America has this wild reputation now of like, close the borders. It's so hard to bring people here, but in reality, it's easier than Canada from a whole medley of countries. You know, I guess if you're in like a giant like I don't know what's the PC isn't first world offensive now? Isn't it offensive to say
I don't
that?
know.
Or is third world offensive? Maybe they're all offensive. We're all part of the world, man.
One equals the other. So
Yeah.
if you say first world, you're calling someone else third world.
It's true. That is true. Well, there's got to be a second world out there, right? Like the Philippines isn't third world. That's not even true, you know? Or is it? I've never been there. I guess I'm completely talking out of my ass, but I digress. Thoughts about the new Fnatic squad? MP, Abed, Ice Ice Ice, DJ, and Jabs. Mixed feelings for me. I don't know. This is like, I feel like one of those teams where if this were a few seasons ago or a few cycles ago, I go, wow, look at this star power. This team's going to rule. But there's something about these names. I feel like they've shuffled a lot. They've been on teams that have had mixed results. And it's like, the question is, will they gel? And there's something about my gut saying probably not.
Really? I think they're going to be one of the best teams of the year.
You think so?
I think they are like better than Faceless was. I think it's an improvement over the old roster because I think Jabs is better than Pylai Dai, at least in this kind of a situation. Like Pylai is just a different kind of player. I think he kind of worked with the old Fnatic, but to me, like if this was Pylai Dai with these four players, I think Jabs is just going to play better. I think he's going to gel better with them. I think he's an overall higher skill cap player. The downside is that Jabs is now moving to like the permanent 5, but just an extremely... He's been moving a lot, too, this Jabs guy. I mean, he was mid, then he moved to support. But, yeah, I think that's an upgrade in that category. I think DJ obviously staying best 4 position in Southeast Asia, if not, one of the best in the entire world. I'd say in Universe are fairly equal, slight edge to Universe. Abed is staying.
Yeah.
And then MP, I actually really think is a very good carry with the correct direction. So
like Ice Ice Ice, perfect example of this gut feeling, right? I know he's a good player, but you look at his accolades, and it's all 2014, 2015. 2016, he got 5th, 6th at International 6, and then since then, all he's done is gotten 1st at DAC 2018. 2017, no placements of note in like the listed achievements here on Liquipedia. In 2018, he's got 1. What's happened with Ice Ice Ice? What is preventing this magnificent player that was just winning event after event from continuing that streak of dominance? And I feel like when you look at his team, it's never his fault. It's never like, oh, Ice 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 had a terrible game. Why did he throw this? It's usually the opposite, but he still hasn't been able to find that consistency. What am I missing here?
I mean, what about Faceless? So they basically dominated the qualifiers for an entire year and then never really got anywhere at the actual majors itself. I think that squad wasn't at full potential. I think it didn't have all of the roles were not maxed out, right? Because Jabs was 4, which is very good. I think Jabs is amazing. I think Ice is very good on the 3. Nuts, I like Nuts, but I don't know if he is like best 5 world. He's not even on a team right now. So
That's true.
I'm not so sure. And then XY too.
And it is true that he had a baby. There is no doubt. He might have taken time off in 2017 to do some dad-related stuff. I don't know exactly, but
that's true.
He has played in a lot of stuff. If you expand that, I was talking about accolades of like, a top 6 finish. If you expand all of the qualifiers and shit he's played in, he's pretty much played consistently. There's been at least a qualifier or a minor or something per month, every month since 2014. So
yeah, and that's pretty disappointing. The fact that he was at all of those lands and didn't place very high.
Right. So that is like sort of a microcosm example of this team where, and of course, maybe that's a little bit extreme. I don't want to go through everyone's specific history, but that's like my gut on this feel of this team where they're all good players, but they've been struggling to just like find that mark, maybe team-wise performing a bit below expectation. I guess Abed is also in that category for me as well, though I can't say as specifically when I feel like he should have won and he hasn't. You know, I haven't been following that closely, but maybe it's because he started in NA Dota. Was it the old Digital Chaos squad where we always felt like, hey, all right, Abed's coming to North America. This team's going to be awesome. And then they just never really produced much.
I think Fnatic will be the best team in Southeast Asia.
All right. I dig.
Pretty easy prediction.
No faith in the Tigers, dude. Moon Meander, 1437.
I mean, they played really well in the Open Qualifier. I actually watched and cast quite a bit of the C Opens. It was pretty fun, and they looked good. But Low-Tech also looked fairly strong too. My boy AU and Raven as well. So I'm not saying everyone else is like bad, but if I had to pick someone who I thought would win the majority of qualifiers this year from all these teams, I would pick Fnatic.
Okay. I could feel you on that. It's interesting, though, to see the Sterling Global Dragons included in the qualifier.
Hell yeah, dude. Our boys.
Isn't that cool, though? I mean, honestly, all jokes aside. They
won the second Open Qualifier. I was laughing.
Yeah, dude. It's really cool to see some of these teams that, like, okay, had no idea who these guys were in TI, a little bit of a joke, placed bottom, and to see that experience, you know, transition or carry over perhaps a little bit is really neat, and I'm always happy to see that kind of stuff in Dota when there's like progression being made and it's not just the same 5 teams at the top that nobody can beat. You know, I like the idea of these teams coming up and getting into shot and getting some notoriety. Like that's what it's all about, man. That's how we keep this wheel turning, is getting new people up on the radar.
What do you got to do to get a Liquipedia page, man? These guys, you know, they make TI qualifiers, still nothing. Of course, here I am not putting in the effort, so what can I say? But
it's true. It's I think it's one of those problems that nobody wants to make their own Liquipedia page. It's a weird feeling to go in there and type in the third person, be like, Zyori is a caster for MOONDUCK TV. You know, the Sterling Global Dragons are an esports team. You want somebody else to do it for you, but think about it. Who has any incentive to go out there and make a fucking Liquipedia page about the Sterling Global Dragons? Even if you were inclined to do it right now, Trent, what the fuck would you write about them? I don't know anything. I don't know who owns them. I don't know who manages them. I don't know if it's a player org. I don't know if it's a real org. I don't know.
Oh, I just noticed something incredibly interesting.
Do tell.
Europe gets 3 slots because of OG. But OG aren't playing. That's interesting. I mean, I assume that's the reason why they would have been given 3 slots in the first place. Maybe decision was made with that knowledge. I guess what other region would I give 3 slots to if I had to pick one?
Isn't it
China already has it?
I was gonna say, isn't it just discretion? Like, to my understanding, although I guess I don't know this 100%, it was that like majors would be able to just choose how they want to handle the rest of those slots.
Valve does it.
Valve does it completely?
Yes, I believe that was part of the announcement.
Oh, okay. All right, so I missed that tagline. Okay, never mind. Redact it.
That's interesting though. 'Cause, I mean, you got to assume that was part of the decision.
You would think, yeah. So what does top 3 for Europe look like? Liquid, Secret.
Liquid, Secret. I mean, that's easy. Sure, deserved.
And then your third, I think NIP probably feels most likely to me.
That would be my favorite, honestly. So now who deserves it more? Because that means top 3. Yeah, deserve. What region deserves 3 slots?
Oh.
We have 3 in Europe. We have 3 in North America, so they're already good. And then we have 3 in China. I wonder, did CIS get screwed again? Did they deserve
that? You know, I was just thinking, part of me wants to give it to CIS just to make amends for what happened to TI and to say, guys, you know what? We're going to throw you a bone there. I don't know. It's really hard to legitimize, though. I think looking at those games that we saw today, Europe just feels stronger. China's a no-brainer. And then if you kind of got that one left, it's like, well, not South America. Probably not Southeast Asia.
Jeez.
I think North America is very competitive right now. You know,
honestly, the more I look at it, okay, if OG was in it, do you give your? I don't know. Like
4 seems excessive.
It does, but at the same time, it's like, aren't Liquid, Secret, and OG 3 of the top like
teams ever?
5, 6 teams in the world?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of with you on that. It makes that whole region just like fuck all for any team
top
that's
heavy.
Not those top 3. Yeah. But I mean, I think North America is perfectly justified, though. I don't think you can make a strong case for CIS over NA right now. You've got EG.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Got what was VGJ Storm, essentially, Forward Gaming, now with Universe, the Complexity Squad we already talked about, and then Team, the Brax Squad. That's such an awful name. I mean, I don't know. Brax, my man. My main man. You got to come up with something better than Team, though it is very IX Mike. I do like that. But their lineup is Costa Bile, Ryoya or Suzy, 747. Jesus Christ. Brax on the off lane, Inushim on the 4, and then IX Mike on the 5. Wouldn't hold my breath, but very interesting lineup.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, the Immortal Squad was released, so that's why you're not. Obviously, they've all split up and everything. But that means they're gone from NA. We lost them all as far as I don't think. Oh, sorry, Forever March. I forgot are on the March out of Army stack because they're not on any signed teams, but they did stay for their open qualifier. By the way, very much cheering for that team. I really hope that they manage to knock somebody out. My boy March. I had so much fun with March at TI. Honestly.
Yeah.
I thought he was very enjoyable to hang out with.
You're really into the Koreans, dude. Febby and March are
apparently
your boys.
Yeah.
Good taste. We'll go
March
get some
also,
bulgogi with them, dude.
March is also Canadian too, actually. He lived in Toronto for a pretty long time, I think he was telling me.
Really?
Yeah.
So speaking of March, they're on that team March out of Army. Squad is Moo, Bryle, Ferev, Milan, and March. Very interesting lineup.
That squad is hype. I wonder if Milan's actually there.
Yeah.
Milan is really good.
So
I ran into him at a couple lands last year.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember which ones.
Milan is from Bosnia, which is a very interesting little country right next to Serbia there in Eastern Europe, and I don't think it's part of the EU. I think it's one of those ones that's a little bit funky with visa-related stuff. So might have been a bottleneck for him just kind of in general, but definitely seen some high skill plays out of him. He's been around for a while now. Let me look at his Wikipedia. I feel like I've been casting him for years, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, out on the old MYI.
Christ, he's been on a lot of teams.
He's only 23 too. God, they're so young.
Dude, since 2014. All right, this is the list of squads he's been on. Are you ready for this? In order of history. So oldest, My Insanity, No Logic Gaming, Team Defiance, E-Lab, Spider Pigs, Elements 1, Elements Pro, Kai P, No Logic Gaming again, Pro Dota Gaming, Planet Dog, Hellraisers, Planet Dog again, Double Dimension, and most recently he was on Wind and Rain. And currently, he's basically a free agent playing for this March stack that is kind of nameless.
Well, I mean, Bryle, Ferev, and Milan are all from Wind and Rain, right? So they kind of have a little bit of history together.
That's true. That is very true.
Now they're just coming back to NA. But Spider Pigs, man, that was a legendary lineup. Swift Ending, Bordiha, Mitch, LeBron, and then Your DNA was the captain. But we don't hear much from him anymore. But LeBron didn't go too well for my boy LeBron.
I have to say, though,
qualifiers.
There were some pretty bad team names, and that No Logic Gaming. It's like they're like, hey, Counter Logic Gaming. That's really good. Oh, man, Counter Logic. What can we... No Logic. Yeah, all right, that's awesome. We're NLG. It's like, dude, what? Think about what that means. We're No Logic Gaming. We're just out there fucking hitting buttons and smiling. What the hell are you talking about, dude? And Pro Dota Gaming. That's really a great...
You're a hater.
I'm a hater.
Quit hating on these sweet names.
Pro
You don't
Dota.
have a good team name ready for yourself, do you?
Huh? So, dude, I got an email to the Moonduck contact form. I don't know if this is legit or not. I couldn't find this guy's name on Google, but he claimed to be a representative of CIS Dota teams, and he wanted me to sponsor the team, as he put it, put my logo on the team. And by me, I think he meant Moonduck. But the meme of a Moonduck Dota team, for enough money, we could make it happen today. And he told me, depending on how much we want to spend, he can get a different caliber of players in the CIS region. I tried to ask him some follow-up questions about the financial arrangements, and he kept saying, I don't English well. So I think there might be some difficulties in negotiating the fine print, but I think we could get some gamers to wear Moonduck shirts and go to LANs and smile if we were into that. So
I just want my name after someone's pro name and like I want to be the sponsor. I want them to be .Trent.
you're
gonna make it happen.
I think you need to talk to Febby. I think that's gonna be your
That's
boy.
True. It's true. I subbed to him. That should be enough. I think.
That's rare. The Trent Pack sub. My God.
It's true. Actually, I think it. Oh no, I still have it going. Look at me go. There you go. There's our Febbies.
But interesting season for Dota ahead. I think now that the shuffle has kind of wrapped up, I'm starting to get hyped up for some Dota again. You know, like I took a little time off since TI. Been working on some stuff. Been working on getting like the back end of said tournaments and stuff figured out. And now it's nice to start focusing on some Dota again. You get to wake up and watch matches that actually matter, qualifiers for the big event.
Yeah, it is cool to see like the high stakes on online again because it's been a while since we had that.
It's a different kind of
tier 1 teams,
you know, and it's nice. As much as I love TI and majors and that stuff, they're fucking stressful to watch. You know, even if you're just a spectator, you're so invested in your team or even just the event in general and the storylines that get created that by the time TI's done, I feel like you just need a deep breath, a cigarette, and a cold beer. You know, you're just like, man, it's over and it was awesome, but fuck, I'm really tired. I need a little bit of a break from this, and it's nice to be able to come back and
coma. After TI,
exactly.
Like I went into a Stardew Valley coma, and I'm just coming out of it now, pretty much. Like my life has been. Now I've started casting these qualifiers. I pretty much I'm back into the Dota, but before this, it was just like hanging out all day with my baby and Sarah Lynn. And then at night, I would like watch Seinfeld and either play Switch or play Monster Hunter, and that has been such a nice kind of woo-saw post TI.
Yeah, dude, it's good to reset and then let it ramp up again. You know, so it really does feel like a good change of pace. But man, I really want to get these Moonduck in-houses going again. I had that idea last week. I said something in the group, and I've been thinking about it since then. But that one. Did we even stream that time?
No, we did not stream it.
That was just a private Moonduck in-house. Didn't we put it on one of the tickets, though? Didn't we put it on, like...
Yes, we did put it on the last one on the Midas mode ticket, I think.
Oh, my God.
So it showed up.
Yeah, but I think, like, I think that would be really fun. We used to do Moonduck game night, and that was a mixed bag. It was mostly just Mott and Annie yelling at each other. So, lesson learned there, but... We've got enough people now that doing like a weekly 5v5 in-house, you know, you can just play a couple games every Friday, keep track on a little scoreboard, see who has the best win rate and KDA over a couple weeks, you know, have a little prize for the...
that makes everything more fun, keeping track of stats.
Dude, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. But...
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, come on. Isn't it fun to brag and be number one?
That sounds like how the town was thought of and ruined.
Well, I mean, you know.
Am I wrong?
No, but it's the analogy is not 1-to-1, I would say. This is, you know.
It's supposed to be for fun. Why would you want to keep track of stats?
Is it though? Is it just for fun? Or is
then
it
again,
about...
I was also playing Support Nature's Prophet, which wasn't a lot of fun for you guys. Yeah. I had fun. Slacks did not have fun.
But I don't know. I just think it's cool to be able to have like that stuff. It's not just about like who's got the best KDA, but I don't know. If let's say we do 3 matches every Friday for 4 Fridays in a row. At the end of it, it would be kind of cool to be able to look at it and go, look, Trent played Nature's Prophet in every single game. You know, it's kind of just fun to look at like how the games turned out, or you know, see like how Slacks fucked up different stuff. You know, you can shuffle the different squads and things. I don't know. It just
we'll need a highlight reel.
It sounds like fun. Yeah, you know,
get some of our DC friends on it.
Well, I saw that Slacks and Moxie were playing Dota yesterday. He invited her to play with him and Bernie for the first time.
Oh, no. So, wow. Baptism under fire right there.
Yeah, she got thrown in head first. I was talking to him on the phone earlier today, and I asked him about it, and he said, oh, she did great. She's in, dude. She's a natural. If she can survive that, she can survive anything. I'm just like, okay, good. We're already with the training here. It's like the Moonduck boot camp. You join, and it's like, all right, now pubs with Slacks and Bernie. This is going to teach you resilience, all right? This is the first lesson of Moonduck. If you can last more than 10 games with those two without breaking your keyboard, you're on the right path.
Yeah, Bernie's a treasure. That's Reginald, actually.
That is the
remember Dear Midas mode.
The Reginald.
I see everyone asking about Midas mode in the chat. It is going to happen, guys.
Yeah.
Midas Mode 2 is an eventuality here. Don't think that it's been given up on.
No, it's the exact opposite actually, and that's
Yes.
the way that these things go is there's a lot of work that goes into the beginning, and then the announcements and the press and stuff come out slowly. They get trickled over time, but trust me, I talked to the big man upstairs or down the road just this morning actually about plans for Midas Mode. We're working on the announcement video. A lot of good ideas, themes galore, money like you can't imagine. It's going to be a good one, I think. I think the first one, we had a lot of really good ideas. Some of them we executed. Like if you go back and look at that original Midas Mode video, there's a lot of ideas that are coming at you really, really quick. And if you actually stop and pause and like keep a list of all the things that Slack's promises we're going to do, I think we probably did about half or 2/3. Which is pretty good. We gave it the old college try, but that whole thing about like the stock market, and you're going to be able to trade, you're going to be able to bet and all this stuff, prizes, just like, dude, do you know how difficult that is to make? I don't really know how to do that. We don't really know anybody that knows how to do that. So this go around, I think we've got a good foundation, some obvious improvements we're going to make. We are definitely going to make some tweaks to the economy, but we are absolutely full steam ahead on Midas Mode 2. So very, very exciting to see the mastermind at work that is Sir Action Slacks, man. It's
How did the restream of Midas Mode go?
terrible. I don't know. I got a couple hundred viewers or so, but not a big deal. I guess it's hard to watch out of context because you just don't know who when you go back and watch it, so much of the dialogue is just about the teams and what's happening in the moment that it just I don't know. The jokes and stuff are funny. I feel like it would have been better if we had just taken all the commercials, all of the Phil content, and just mashed that together into a big long video instead of actually rebroadcasting the games. Those parts are still funny, but watching the matches is not fun. You just don't care. You're not actually following the tournament. You're like, which day is this? What? How much money do they have in the bank? What's happening?
Yeah.
Huh? Who? Where? What are these overlays? It's out of context, it's not as cool. You need that hype and the build-up and the involvement, It's the interaction that makes stuff like Midas Mode fun.
I see what's going on in the world right now. We still have the South American qualifiers, and then I noticed Mid One is back to streaming. Or, Mid One Secret. He's currently, like, Syndrome just started streaming. He's rocking. He's got some tough competition here. He's on a late night stream.
Yeah.
Our Sind boy. Just say hi to him after. But have you been? So you're not keeping up with most of the Dota. You're now getting back into it after your vacation here.
A little bit, yeah. So I was just at the Grand Canyon for the last 3.5 days or so. We did a quick kind of long weekend out of it. It's like a 11-hour drive each way from where we live in Colorado. So it's definitely drivable. Absolutely worth doing. Pretty mind blowing. You see pictures of it and it's going to be big and cool, but you really can't capture on camera or on film how big it is in general. It's not just one spot where there's these cool canyons. There's what feels like hundreds of spots where you can see these crazy canyons. It's carved out for miles. You're just driving along this massive canyon. It's just layers of trees and then the biggest, most beautiful, majestic canyon you've ever seen in your life. It's really breathtaking. Really is the right word for it. It's just an incredible sight to be seen. But yeah, I'm glad I did it in one day. I definitely saw some cringy, touristy. Dude, we went to the Four Corners. Now, for those of you that aren't American that don't know what the Four Corners is.
Oh, I know what this is. Is this where there's 4 states that meet one another and she goes there in Breaking Bad?
Yes.
To decide where she's going to go?
Oh, my God. I forgot about that scene. You're right. She flips a coin on the Four Corners. Yeah. Okay.
And then she doesn't follow through or whatever.
Yep. That's it. Great literary reference there, or I guess media reference.
Got him.
Not literary. But, yeah, it's not nearly as cool as you think it is. And shows like that, they do a really good job with like the angles to make it seem big and awesome. And I realized that in the pictures, when you just see the point in the middle, you have this illusion that there's this line that's going on. And you're like seeing these big lines like you do on the map. And it's just like, holy fuck, there's Colorado. Oh my God, there's New Mexico. But it's not like that. You're on this dinky little highway in the middle of this big desert, and then there's these signs that say 4 corners right here, and then you drive up, and there's just some fucking shitty bathrooms that don't have running water, and then this little tiny coliseum with like 3 Native Americans selling jewelry, and then a bunch of overweight American tourists just standing there taking pictures and asking each other the same lowbrow basic questions. Like, I saw multiple different families with that classic archetype of like the middle teenager young man that's like frumpy and hates his parents and doesn't want to be there, and it's like the mom that's having trouble with the dad, and they're doing that last ditch effort to rekindle and bring the family together with this road trip, and they get to the 4 corners. Damn. And the kid's been sitting in the car for 2 days, and he's fucking constipated and can't stand life, and he's just walking around like, how's Colorado? Fine. How's it in Utah? Fine. How's it in New Mexico? Leave me alone. You know, it's just like, for fuck's sake, guys. This is like, it's so prescribed. I couldn't handle it. We got there, and I just wanted to leave immediately. It was the most touristy thing I've ever been to. It's kind of cool in theory. It's neat to go and see once, but just to witness the caliber of people that are in awe of the 4 corners, it's just like, yeah, I get it. You just jumped in 4 states in 2 seconds. Honestly, who gives a shit? Nobody. Let's keep driving so we can get home before midnight, you know? But,
did you run in like a little circle?
I did. Yep. It's kind of funny though. There's no line. It's just this mash of people. There's a little sign that says limit 3 pictures per person. So, you know, you can't get up there and take too many selfies, but they try to give you enough buffer that if you don't get the right angle, you get to go again. But next, I want to see Mount Rushmore next. I've heard that one is similarly disappointing because it's, you know, if we end up doing Midas mode in Colorado and you're out here and we want to try to trip around it, it's like, it's closer than the Grand Canyon. I think it's 8 hours each way or something. So it's not close, but you can do it, you know, pretty quick. I mean, you can do it in one day. Maybe it's less than 8 hours because I think you can do it in one day because it's one of those things you see it, you chill for half an hour, then you fucking leave. You know, there's nothing to do. You just look at the heads and then get out of there.
That doesn't sound worth it.
Supposedly, it's way smaller in real life than you think it is based on the pictures. Again, you get to see these angles and you're like, oh my God, look at those heads. They're so big. I can't wait until Trump etches his face on this thing. But in real life, it's only, 60 meters high? Something. It's only like a couple stories. It's really not that big. It's just a little rock that they set up there and then carved out. It's not nearly as, although a lot of people did die to make it, I guess. So that
they did
apparently, or no, nobody died. I'm confusing it now. I heard it one way and then it ended up being. Now we got to look this up. Mount Rushmore death. Let's take a look. I did learn that the Grand Canyon is the most lethal national park. Most people die there of any other park, and apparently, so this is a little interesting tidbit.
Makes a lot of sense
for you little hikers out there. Canyons are particularly dangerous and treacherous because it's very easy to go down and very hard to come back up. Whereas like hiking up a mountain, it's the opposite. Right. It's easy to go up and hard to go down. So like Everest is kind of dangerous, but if you get to the point you're like, oh, I can't go any further, you kind of just sit on your ass and slide back down if you really have to. With the Grand Canyon, you spend, like, let's say 60% of your energy going down. You're like, this is awesome. We're not that close to the bottom. Let's go back up. You get halfway back to the top and realize you've overdone it, and you're fucked. You run out of water, and one of the tour guides was telling a story, and he said that just the day before he was hiking in the canyon, and he came across a guy that was so dehydrated and desperate, he was laying on the ground and said that he would pay him $100 for a bottle of water.
Wow.
The guy said, I'll give you $100 for a bottle of water if you had any. And the guy's like a tour guide, so I guess he helped him to get out of there. But like, fuck, dude, you know, it's scary, man. That shit is legitimately dangerous. They have little guardrails, but you can just, if you're not careful, man, you can just walk around and fall right into the canyon. You dead. So let's see. Mount Rushmore here. Yeah.
I can't see any real stats here on it.
Well, either way, it's not that cool. I don't know. I still want to see it, but...
Well, I can tell you that the Mount Rushmore area is underlain by well-drained alpha soils of very gravelly loam, specifically muckmount, to silt loam, also known as buska texture, brown to dark grayish-brown. That someone really needed to put that in. That is from the Soil Web, an online soil survey from the University of California. So thank you for adding that to the Wikipedia page. You are doing God's work.
I'll tell you what, though, man. The little towns right outside of the Grand Canyon, they really are like the most authentic American experience you're ever going to get. It's just that very middle of nowhere, these little tiny towns. Like we drove through this town called Williams, and it's just a town that exists only because there's a highway that drives through it, and they just kind of took over the highway, put a street light in it, so you have to stop, and then there's just stores there, and everything there is like, we're the famous Route 68 Williams, like that's their thing. We're on the highway. They've got like some really old car with a fake Elvis in the front seat, and there's people there, it's like foreigners taking pictures and shit. It's incredible. It's a great little taste of American capitalism, man. They're like, hey, you know what? We're on a highway. This is America.
Now, that sounds more entertaining than Mount Rushmore, honestly.
Yes. Oh, it is. Because if you stop and walk around, it's actually kind of cool. It's like a little old miner town. You know, there's little restaurants and bars, and you can buy all the Navajo sterling silver jewelry your heart can fathom.
Oh, I kind of see what you mean. I'm looking at a picture now. The heads really aren't very big.
Yeah, when you look at it zoomed out, you go, oh, okay, so that's the spot. It's just this little...
Wow.
This little dinky
pretty
donut.
Small.
Yeah, nobody died building Mount Rushmore. Somebody told me that. I was just like, oh, I feel so bad talking shit about it. And then we looked it up and we're just like, nobody died making that shit. It's just a lame fucking monument that they made to try to jumpstart tourism. That's literally it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, you gotta do.
Yeah. But definitely cool. Fun to take a road trip and, reset a little bit. Feels good to be back, man.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to more Dota. So I actually start in 11. I start in 11 hours. So I'm
wow.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, woohoo.
You really are back on the grind. Did you all right, so let's take a serious topic here to wrap this thing up. Did you see the treachery that was the recent Dr. Disrespect drama, man? Are you on the pulse with that thing? His house got shot at?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, well, it's like an ongoing ordeal. There's been all sorts of different. I guess his family moved. I'm not even up on the latest. I don't know what's happened in the last couple days since I've been a little bit unplugged, but holy shit, dude. You know, like it hits close to home not only because, we're content creators and we're streamers and, all that kind of shit. We had a moment, right, at Midas Mode where we ordered pizza and the pizza guy knew who we were, and like we opened the door and he was just like, holy shit, you're Sir Action Slacks. And it's like, okay, that's a little bit alarming. Oh, Jesus. He's pizza guy, super nice guy. He got so excited he left his little delivery bag on the front step. It was pretty adorable. But still, that's just a little dose of reality of like, if that guy isn't just a nice dude and is a little unstable or whatever the problem is, it's scary that some stranger we don't know now knows and could tell anyone if he really wanted to, right? Those are those little things that you think, if you think about it too long, it'll keep you up at night, but you tell yourself, it's not really worth thinking about that fringe scenario that this one random pizza guy has some vendetta against us or some crazy shit, right? But you read about things like this and you go, oh, fuck, it actually is kind of real. And there are enough people out there that are either hungry for attention or unstable or don't like something that the doc said or got killed by him in a pub game or whatever the fuck it is. Jesus, dude. Like, that is so fucking scary. Almost like I can't contextualize how scary that is. Like swatting was a thing for a while, and then a couple people got arrested and sent to jail for attempted murder, and people kind of stopped doing it because they're like, oh yeah, the internet is pretty good at keeping a trail of breadcrumbs when you do stuff like this and try to use like a Skype phone call or something to call 911. And when we were designing the first summit at BTS, we thought about that. We had a fan show up at the house 2 or 3 days before the event started. He gave us a piece of paper and asked us if we could give it to Dendy. Like, that was really scary. Again, very harmless, nice, relatively normal young lad. But the fact that this relatively normal person found our address and had the balls to knock on the door and be like, hey, is Dendy here? It's just like very disconcerting. So we started thinking about, like, should we call the police ahead of time? Should we, like, try to do anything to just like, hey, just FYI, this is the thing that's going on? Because at that time, the way the house was laid out, you open the front door, you see the Russian casting studio with a Ukrainian flag hanging on the back, hanging like on the wall in the backdrop. So we were a little nervous if that actually happened. SWAT show up and knock down the door, and they just see two dudes yelling in Russian with a Ukrainian flag. They yell, "Get on the fucking floor." Balak goes, "What is happening?" And they start shooting. Like, Jesus Christ, man. You know, like, that's some dark fringe scenario that feels like, but that's not going to happen. It's like, yeah, but it could, and we need to at least be a little prepared if that kind of shit happens, you know? And it's been a while since I feel like we've had to really seriously think about stuff like that, because I haven't seen headlines of a SWAT, but this is like upping the ante to another level that really, fuck, man. You know, it's like the house his family lives in and stuff. You know, he's not some young gun just fucking wabo streaming to make some bucks. He's like a family man, dude. It's beyond fucked up. To say it's fucked up is a gross understatement.
Yeah. I hate to say America, but
I mean, that dude, that's how I'm starting to feel. You know, I've been joking about immigrating to Canada for over a year now, and it's like every time I see shit like that, I'm like, you know, we're the only, quote, first world country that has this problem. Jesus.
Yeah. It's just strange. I mean, of course there's, you know, nutcases and people who are unstable in every area who need some sort of help.
Yeah.
But can't go down to Wally World and yeah.
Wally World. Yeah, good old Wally World, man. Whew. Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway, I just wanted
up.
to, like, that was one. A lot of the times, you know, we see headlines. There's a lot of negative press out there that we could always talk about and dwell on, but this was one that, like, you know, I think anybody with a brain realizes, you know, the gravity of just how seriously intense that is, and just, you know, take a moment to go, wow, holy shit. What can I do just on an individual level to do my part, you know, because shit is getting so bananas that it's just, we need to have a few more moments where we take a deep breath and go, holy shit, you know what? Someone somewhere needs to really seriously start asking, why is this kind of stuff happening, and what can we do to start trending in the opposite direction? Because fuck, man, I'm scared. It's bad news.
Yeah.
Fuck. So,
what was I going to say about? Oh, there was positive. Yay, happy thoughts. So one thing I've noticed is a couple times in these late nights, been absolutely so tired. I'll be like vegging out just on my couch before I fall asleep for like a nap or something, because I'm just like so exhausted. I keep like flicking around Twitch. So I saw Day 9 was streaming, so I flicked on Day 9 for a second. There's like 4 straight questions about Artifact. People asking about Artifact and talking a little bit about Artifact. Nothing against NDA or anything like that, but just, you know, in general excitement and stuff, and how the game plays and stuff. And then I saw Savage was streaming, so I flicked over to him, because I used to watch a little bit of Hearthstone. Haven't seen it in a long time, but just curious what he was saying. Go right away, second I open it. What are all the questions about? Artifact. Oh, lots of interest. Kind of exciting.
mm-hmm.
All kinds of people asking all these questions. And I liked his, like, they were asking about, like, oh, do you think everyone's going to move to Artifact and everything? And he was just like, well, Artifact is serious. Artifact is hardcore. Some people won't like it. But if you want to make money playing cards games, that's where people will go.
Yeah.
So
I think it is definitely positioned to be the pinnacle of competitive card games. I think that's probably a fair way to coin it. Probably not the most casual friendly card game. I think you'll probably be able to draw that kind of analogy of like Artifact is the Dota as Hearthstone is the League of Legends. You know, I think that general analogy will probably be appropriate.
Yeah, that sounds... I mean, I don't know too much about League design and balance, but I mean, Hearthstone is just so blatantly made to be a casual, like, it's intentional. It's not like they're hiding it, and that's not a flame. It is made to be a game that you see someone playing and go, oh, I wish to play this game, and I want to have fun with randomness. And that is what they do. Like, that is clearly part of it. It's balanced for fun.
Is it going to be the new Magic? Is that what I'm saying? Because I think that is what I'm saying, even though I didn't say that.
What? Is Artifact?
Is Artifact going to be the new Magic? Because Magic has been the pinnacle of like competitive card gaming, right? Hasn't that been like the competitive game when it comes to cards?
And it still will be.
It still is.
It's not.
Sure.
Artifact will not be more competitive than Magic. The problem with Magic is that Magic does not do well online. The way that Magic works with interruptions and with instant spells just does not translate well to video games. Like, you have to play it in person. Like, yeah, you guys are saying in chat, it's just, if you've ever played Magic in person, online, it just doesn't work. Like, the old Magic the Gathering clients, you had to like press Y if you were on a controller, because I remember playing on Xbox first off, and even playing on my PC, you have to like interrupt and this like timer starts, and then the stack is going, and you have to like slip in your cards, and it's not fluid.
Yeah.
It is still a really good spectating experience if you're into Magic, but it's that gateway of having to buy all the cards cuts out so much of your user base and your player base. And the fact that you have to play in person means that it's very segregated. So Artifact takes all the good things of the competitiveness and then puts it on an online platform that works well. So it's going to be the best, as you said, best example of Magic, or Artifact is going to be the competitive version to Hearthstone, because Magic isn't true. It's just not. And Magic Arena, I have heard good things about. I will say I have not played that very much. Because I was just kind of waiting for Artifact, obviously. But up until now, they have struggled a lot before for online stuff for Magic.
Yeah. No, I've heard that, and I've heard that the cost structure is very prohibitive. You know, if you want to play competitive or semi-competitively, and it's no different with the cards as well. But I guess you feel a little better when you have a physical card, and you know, okay, over time maybe this one will become more rare. You know, the Black Lotus is like that classic one that everybody talks about. That's super rare and valuable because it's so old, before Magic was popular and stuff. Like, you have that feeling of a physical good, and you don't mind as much paying for it. But when you're looking at online and however much it costs per year to continue playing the game, you sort of feel like, what is this, fucking Call of Duty? Are we just releasing expansions for the fuck of it? What are we doing here? You know, so I think Artifact, just based on how Valve handles economy stuff, I think it'll probably be a little bit better, even though it is a pay-to-play game. I'm sure there will be some, you know, pay to buy cards or however the hell that works and stuff. But my gut tells me it'll feel a little bit less costly than Magic to still be able to play pretty competitively. But who knows? That's coming from someone who...
It's true. We don't actually know, but I assume so as well.
Yeah. And, you know, some of that stuff with Artifact is still TBD. You know, we don't really know what that model is going to look like outside of it is going to be, it was at $20 just as to get in the gate, so to speak, to be able to play. But I have to admit, Trent, on the final note here before we close this thing down, I am becoming a believer in mobile gaming. Not because I think it will ever replace traditional gaming. I need to get away from saying real gaming because it's a little condescending to mobile gamers out there. But it is truly just a different experience. And, you know, Clash Royale is one of the big ones right now. You know, we've talked a lot about Arena of Valor, kind of jokingly, and that's a whole interesting little tangent we can go down maybe another time. But Arena of Valor is the exact carbon copy with just different naming and different lore to the Chinese version, which is Glory of King or Honor of Kings. The Chinese one is so infinitely more popular. It has like 200 million daily active players, whereas Arena of Valor has like 3 or 4 million unique installations or something like that. You know, it's orders of magnitude difference, but there's a real demand for that kind of mobile stuff. And Clash Royale is right up there with those mobile MOBAs. Their problem is that they're a clone of something, right? They're trying to take a PC experience and make it work on mobile. But games like Clash Royale, they've designed something that is designed for mobile. You know, they're doing a league right now, their big Clash Royale league or whatever it's called. You know, it's just like LCS where it goes over 2 months. They have casters and it's in studio and, you know, they've got all the transitions and all that stuff.
I did not know that.
They are broadcasting it in mobile resolution. You watch it on YouTube in like the up and down top right resolution like you would on a phone. The broadcast is designed to work natively on mobile. It's all for mobile gamers. They know, like, if you're on a computer playing games, you're probably not interested in watching Clash Royale. Who's interested in watching Clash Royale? It's people that are on their fucking phones playing video games. Where is it most likely they're going to watch that broadcast? It's on their fucking phone or tablet. So they designed it to be in portrait mode. Like, when I realized that, I was like, holy shit. That's actually pretty crazy. They've got thousands of viewers right now watching a portrait broadcast of a mobile quote-unquote esport that is it an esport? I don't fucking know, but this is actually kind of cool, man. I feel like that old guy that's walking in is like, man, I had an Atari. What is this Xbox, man? This thing's crazy. You know, I'm like looking at these mobile games like, holy fuck, you guys are really like, you're fucking doing it. This isn't just like, oh, mobile games, they're going to be competitive. Like it looks like a lower budget OWL. They've got, like an announcer and a stage host and player introductions and little player stations, and they've got their phones and they're out there fucking mashing it. They've got winner interviews. Dude, it's the full fucking spread. It's craziness.
So
and I'm
the
starting to
goal?
believe.
Just promotion? Like that's their advertisement?
Huh?
That's their advertising budget basically is the
yeah
justification for it.
I guess. I mean, when you play the game, Clash Royale is a little pay to win, and the competitive side has like caps and stuff, so it does have like some competitive bounds to it. But as just a regular player, it's all about time, So you accelerate things. You pay to accelerate things to get stuff faster, to unlock more cards, to just like level up and stuff. So they've got a lot of money, and they're what's the word for it? Like, the amount that they would pay for a new installation, like a new customer, is very high. Like always betting sites are the traditional ones that would say, hey, our cost per acquisition is in the hundreds of dollars for any new user that will deposit at least one time, because they know if you deposit once, the stats indicate that it's more likely that you'll deposit multiple times, and it just takes a couple of those people to become really good lifelong customers, and that's where they really make most of their money. These mobile games are the exact same thing. They're really just looking for whales, and they're just trying to roll the dice on new people that are going to come in and try the game. So their budget for these events is pretty high. When you look at how many new players do we need to bring in to make this worth it, I think that number is really not too bad compared to a lot of other games, because mobile is just so fucking easy to monetize, dude. They just pop it up and you open the chest and it's all visually stimulating. It's like a fucking slot machine. Yeah. And it's all built into your phone. It's all built into Apple. So I can very easily just be like, do you want to pay $20? Okay, you've already got my credit card. I don't have to give my info to anybody else. It's all through the App Store. It just goes right into my email. I'm like, cool, that was super easy. 2 clicks and I paid. Even buying stuff like on Dota, it takes like 5 to 10 times more clicks to actually like buy the stuff and check out through PayPal and go through everything than it does on mobile. It's fucking insane, dude. I don't know.
Are you hyped for Artifact Mobile?
I am.
Assume that's. That's something that it was one of the eventual goals when they first announced.
Oh,
it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think they said like mid next year was the goal for like tablet and mobile Artifact. Absolutely, dude. I think it's huge. I think it's really important that something related to Dota gets into the mobile game and gets a piece of that market, because I do really believe that they're absolutely different markets, and that was the key piece that I was missing before. When people say the word gamer, that term is constantly evolving. So, like, what is that actually? Are you talking about esports games? Are you talking about casual games? Are you talking about mobile games?
Talking about Farmville?
Single-player games? You're talking about, moms playing on Facebook? There's a lot of different subsets of gamer now. And I think it's like esports and mobile, not like, now they're kind of crossing over, but it's that traditional esports, your Counter-Strike, your League of Legends, and now you've got these unique mobile games. Like Clash Royale is designed for mobile, and that's why I think it can work. And when you play it, it feels like, wow, this really is a little mobile game. A match takes 3 minutes. This is cool. It's on the go. You play Arena of Valor. It's like, I'm just playing a shittier version of League of Legends, which is a shittier version of Dota. Like, I feel like I'm playing Second Life, and then I just made a character that is playing Second Life in Second Life. Like, what? It's two levels removed. But anyway, I digress, man. Keep an eye out, because I'm telling you, this mobile shit, it's not going away, dude. It's just like cryptocurrency. It's here to stay.
Keeps on flowing into it,
so get ready, dude. Get ready.
Okay.
Are you hype? Arena of Valor on Switch, dude. It's coming, or it's here.
I don't care.
I saw Shiver tweeting about it.
I did. I saw she got her code, but then she couldn't put her name in because SH was apparently a curse word or something.
That was one of the funniest things. I was just like, wow, that is truly the next evolution of PC culture. Saying shh to somebody is considered like, too offensive, too condescending. This is potentially
I think it was because of the Chinese or something, or some sort of Chinese. I assume it was a translation thing.
Oh, is it? Oh, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. That's a good explanation though. And Tencent is a Chinese company, but okay, very good. Well, enough ranting here, boys and girls. Thank you so much for joining us for this first proper episode of the Trent and Zyori podcast. Our beautiful new overlays here. We will be back not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. Reminder, Tuesdays are now podcast day on MOONDUCK, so we're going to alternate Trent and Zyori, and then What the Duck, then Trent and Zyori, and then What the Duck, and who knows, maybe a little bit of magic sprinkled in between. So,
love it.
Trent, anything else? Did we hit all of the talking points we needed to hit?
Oh, sounds good. Catch me tomorrow in like 11 hours ish for Europe. So I'll be on one of the PGL channels. You'll find
Cool.
it.
Yep. KL Major well underway with the qualifiers, and hopefully we'll get some news on that minor that is right around the corner. But until next time, boys and girls, you can find this on Zyori.tv for the audio only, iTunes, Android, all that good stuff. We will see you next time. Trent Zyori Podcast.